In our mind, this restaurant has been, like, it's built, it's done. It's not my fault. I'm following the recipe. It's supposed to be all cute and...
It looks like you've opened up the stomach of something. It's not a sexy dish, not a date dish, not a dish you want around anybody, I don't think.
Squamish, British Columbia, 1 hour from Vancouver, population 10,000, is the boomtown on the West Coast. Once upon a time, it was strictly a logging and mining town, but something's happening here.
People are sick of the city and coming out here.
You can get great homes, great location.
You can go mountain biking.
Go skiing, kayaking.
And it's only half an hour straight up the highway from Whistler, one of North America's most popular and expensive year-round resort communities. Amy Huddle and Selena Shuri are best friends. They came to Whistler 10 years ago to have fun. They're still there.
It's just a little party town, and I ended up staying.
Skiing and partying and having the best time of our lives.
And if someone had told me that 10 or 11 years ago I would have been in Whistler this long, I would have laughed at them, because I only went there for a weekend.
Like most of their friends, they're still trying to avoid growing up. They've worked in restaurants for years, love food, and love having people over. They got to thinking, Whistler's become a place only for the very rich, and it'll only get worse, because in 2010, the area will host the Olympics.
Squamish is going to become the new bedroom community for Whistler. Most of the people that live in Whistler have bought homes or are looking to buy homes in Squamish.
It's got everything that Whistler has. It's just not noticed yet.
But one thing Squamish doesn't have going for it is food.
Okay, thank you.
Selena bought a house here a few years ago and has been suffering ever since, because if you're not into fast food or takeout, you're in trouble.
Chinese balls?
Yeah, no, I'm going to avoid the scary red sauce. Thank you very much.
Red sauce is the best part.
One day, on the way back from skiing, Selena and Amy had an idea.
I just remember we were walking around there one day, and I was like, wouldn't it be fun, you know, why don't we open a restaurant? And Amy is kind of laughing, and she's like, yeah, why don't we?
We deserve better food. I think Squamish deserves better food,
definitely.
and I think that they're just dying for a new option.
So, Amy got her boyfriend to mortgage his house, and Selena threw in the $20K she'd saved for retirement. Add a government loan, and they have a grand total of $120,000.
You ready? Yes.
Yeah, everybody wants to put on a skirt and go out on a date.
I can't
somewhere.
wait to be the date place.
The date place, I know.
It's going to be called the Burrow Lounge, and they're going to open it in only 3 months. Everything needs to be done in this 1,600 square foot space. Washrooms, kitchen, lighting, decor, everything.
The Burrow Lounge is going to be sexy. Woo! Nice. Hooray.
Cheers.
Their boyfriends are on side, as long as it doesn't cut into their playtime too much. Fabio, Amy's beau, works in construction. He's going to build the place. Jamie, Selena's honey, will help him, then be the bartender.
I mostly worry about the fact that it will put a strain on our relationship.
I feel like the 3 months is not enough time.
It's got to be done in 3 months for a couple of reasons. 1, that's all they can manage without money coming in. And 2, this is what really turns Fabio's crank. And come heck or high water, he's off on a motorcycle trip with his pals in 3 months.
The deal with him was that if he did the construction, that the time frame would work so that he could get out of here on time.
I have a date, and I have to be in Laguna Seca in Monterey, California.
The girls have no problem dividing their responsibilities today. Selena, who's going to run the front of the house, heads off to apply for their liquor license. Jamie gets the day off to go riding. Amy, who's going to do all the cooking, digs deeper into her research.
I love to cook, buy all the cooking magazines, read them every month.
She and Selena want to go with the latest trends.
We're highlighting tapas
Small plates,
full of fresh food.
things that you can share with friends.
Lots of flavor, but without being so heavy, and that way you can enjoy lots of them.
It also fits the lifestyle. Everyone down here is so healthy and they're health conscious.
There's only one big problem. Amy's repertoire in the kitchen is limited. She's never done tapas before, and most of her cookbooks are pretty intimidating. She needs some practice. So today, she's picked something that doesn't look overly challenging. It's halibut cheeks with lemon and herbs and parchment.
Yeah, it keeps in our theme of fresh and clean and healthy food.
Amy thinks it's the perfect sort of thing for a date. Selena, who's hoping for a scratch-and-win bingo windfall, is very hungry.
Aww. Selena!
It hasn't really got a distinct flavor of any kind.
It's just not happening. I'm starting to feel like it's the albatross that just won't fly. I just want it to fly.
In Squamish, British Columbia, two young gals have found a perfect way to avoid growing up.
Are we really doing this? Are we really going to put everything we've worked so hard for, our homes and our lives, on the line so that we can do this?
They've cashed in their savings, and even though they can't really cook, are in for an all-or-nothing gamble.
Better to have tried and failed than never to have tried at all. Aww.
2 months till opening, and Amy has just had a disaster in the kitchen.
Is it burnt?
Yes. Oh, and the parchment's all soggy.
I don't think I've ever seen you butcher anything like this before.
Well, it's not my fault. I'm following the recipe. It's supposed to be all cute and...
It looks like you've opened up the stomach of something. It's not a sexy dish, not a date dish, not a dish you want around anybody, I don't think. Not gonna work for our restaurant.
I'm not a trained chef. I can't make fancy papillon.
Nasty. That's all I can say, it's just nasty.
While Amy and Selena regroup over the food, Jamie and Fabio are starting to work in the space.
This is what's going to give our floor a nice sheen, actually.
The floor is going to be a big feature. They got the idea for it over at Mike's skateboard shop.
So here we are at Mike's skate shop. There he is, Mike. Howdy. And this is where we first saw the acid, well, not first, but saw the acid etching floors.
Fabio and Jamie think the Burrow could stand a healthy dose of skateboard chic. Amy and Selena, on the other hand, think the Burrow is all about a red leather couch they found a few months ago.
Why?
Because they're
Sexy.
They wanted it so badly, they just had to have a restaurant to put it in.
We knew when we saw them, we were like, those would be great if we ever had our own restaurant.
They're kind of the centerpiece of our logo, so they've kind of been really important in the whole design process, from logos, websites, to actual color scheme.
Selena and Amy want the Burrow Lounge to be just like the red leather couches.
In our mind, this restaurant has been, like, it's built, it's done.
But the road to the Burrow Lounge is being repaved with obstacles. 3 weeks till opening. Selena and Amy have spread the word all over town that they need some help. But around here, with all the cool outdoorsy stuff to do, work is to be avoided, unless you really have to.
Damn work thing gets in the way of playtime, yeah.
Evening cooks, also known as chief plating officers.
Anyone who's any good at Whistler is out of their league.
A lot of people that are coming from Whistler expect a Whistler wage, and because we're a startup, it's very difficult for us to match that wage. They can do that.
They're getting desperate.
This is ridiculous. I mean, we've had ads in the paper. We've had flyers around town.
For the next 4 days, the boys sacrifice their sailing, cycling, and skateboarding to work on their groovy floor. The girls aren't allowed anywhere near the place.
It's 4 days that we weren't allowed to be in the space to do anything else, like paint or construct or do anything, and I'm just wondering if it was worth it.
Finally, today, they're getting a preview.
I don't know if it's going to turn out the way I want it to. This doesn't look done. It kind of didn't look the way I wanted it to.
4 days. That took 4 days.
Are you going to do something to
Not
it?
very
Make it
nice.
exciting?
That's it.
This is it.
That's what we've been slaving over for
This is
4
what
days.
4 days looks like?
This is what 4 days looks like.
I don't know if the guys are going to want to redo it or if we're going to have to throw down laminate or something on top. It's going to cost some extra money, so.
Everyone's starting to get grumpy. That night, Amy goes back to the kitchen to work on her menu. She wants a verdict on her dips, and she's asked the guys to join her jury.
Okay. So this is the first attempt. This is lemon and sage and the white beans and a lot more salt and pepper to it.
Not really spectacular, but it's
You don't
okay.
really taste anything on there. It hasn't really got a distinct flavor of any kind. You can kind of taste the bread, but
It's just not happening. This one is the sun-dried tomato. So all the same ingredients, just thrown a little sun-dried tomato into it.
Can't really taste any of the added flavors to it. Just kind of bean.
Really?
I'm starting to feel like it's the albatross that just won't fly. I just want it to fly.
It's like baby bean food.
baby bean food.
Bean. Do they make baby food in bean now?
Did you just call my food baby food?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, that's not what I'm aiming for. I've been working in this industry since I was 16 years old. To have to go and make a phone call to my dad at this age and say to him, I don't have enough money for gas to get here, which is just horrible.
In Squamish, British Columbia, things are turning sour for Amy Huddle and Selena Shuri, who are supposed to open a tapas lounge soon.
I just want it to fly.
Their boyfriends seem more interested in playing than getting the job done.
Damn work thing gets in the way. Playtime.
2 weeks before they're supposed to open, they're hit with a big blow. Their liquor license has been denied because of their name.
We can no longer be calling ourselves the Burrow Tapas Bar Lounge because according to the liquor license, can't use the word bar. So now we're Eat, Drink, Lounge.
You can't use bar.
You can't call yourself a bar until you're licensed as a bar. And even then, you shouldn't call yourself a bar because it encourages people to drink. I don't know.
British Columbia.
I am just following the rules. It's the application to be able to serve somebody a glass of Shiraz. I don't want to manufacture heroin. I just want to serve somebody a cocktail. It's not this giant thing that they make it out to be, and here we are. And
And you can't open a sexy cocktail lounge without cocktails. I mean, it's pretty simple.
It's going to take at least 3 weeks to reapply and get a license. The opening is delayed. Fabio's motorcycle trip is off.
This is his whole world. He's been waiting all year to go on this trip.
Well, I mean, I am upset. I'm not going to say that I'm not. It's unfortunate, and I was really looking forward to it.
So it kills me that he's not going. And he puts on a very brave face, but he's disappointed.
But here's the big problem. They're running out of money.
So we're just living on credit, and it's getting tighter and tighter, and there's just no more money to bail us out. There's just none. It's gone.
Jamie just quit his job to work with Fabio, so
Yeah.
he's not making any money, and I'm supporting the both of us, driving to Whistler, still working on the weekends. And I mean, it's just not enough money coming in.
I shouldn't say this, but I had a shoebox under my bed full of 20s, and that was my savings. And every day we'd go in and take a few out for gas and take a few out for groceries, and my savings are gone. There's no 20s left.
The next day, Amy does the unthinkable. She calls her parents for cash.
It's devastating to me, who have been independent all my life, to have to go and make a phone call to my dad at this age and say to him, I don't have enough money for gas to get here, which is just horrible.
Amy's father agrees to float her the cash to make it to opening. But what's playing heavily on everyone's mind, what could sink them all, is whether Squamish is actually ready for the Burrow's sexy food.
We've got some Thai prawns. We just want to get a little bit of feedback on some food if you want
No,
to try
I don't
anything.
eat prawns.
You don't eat prawns?
I'm not a seafood
Okay.
person.
I think it's going to be hard for them to kind of grasp the concept right away.
We're just doing a little food tasting.
No, thank you.
No, are you sure?
No, thanks. No, you're okay?
The kind of people in this town are like hardworking guys,
Would you like to do a food tasting?
Actually, no, I would not.
construction workers, loggers who want to just go get a big plate of food, eat with their dirty hands and get out of there.
It's a little more spice than I'm used to. Yeah.
Or the Burrow is going to be a little like more fancier. Like,
you could do one with a little less spice.
Less spice. Yep,
You know,
that's no
I
problem.
mean, most people like prawns.
Yeah?
And I like the sausage. Zing's a little bit too much.
Amy and Selena are hoping to open in 5 days.
The bank machine gave me 40.
Okay.
And I found this in the car.
In Squamish, British Columbia, 2 gals and their guys have taken the risk of their lives on opening their own lounge restaurant.
You can't call yourself a bar until you're licensed as a bar.
They're penniless, held up by a liquor license technicality.
I don't want to manufacture heroin. I just want to serve somebody a cocktail.
They found out if they cover up the word lounge on their sign, they can open.
How's it going, Fab?
Looks like hell.
It's gonna make a terrible first impression. I say to hell with it. For one night, we can live with the lounge.
Alright.
I'm willing to risk it.
I'm all for it.
All right.
This is so dumb.
I'm gonna say take it down. Oh, it's one thing after another. Forget it, take it down.
In 36 hours, they're planning to open their doors. Inside, most of the work is done, but they still don't have kitchen help. This morning, only one candidate has shown up.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
fantastic. Thank you.
Okay, we'll see you soon.
Take care.
All right,
Thanks.
But not fantastic enough. So Amy has to spend the afternoon in the kitchen alone, overwhelmed.
It says F9. I don't know if I need to print or bold or... It means that the pans don't work. It's just such a struggle. It's so hard.
It's opening day. Amy's found her good spirits again. They need a pile of last-minute items,
The bank machine
but they're almost out of cash.
gave me 40.
Okay.
And I found this in the car.
Back at the Burrow, the espresso machine is on the blink,
Yeah, we're screwed.
Turn it on.
and the dishwasher is busted.
How many do we have?
The bar stools arrive.
Wait, I can't even...
They're way too short,
It's good sleeping height.
but it's too late to worry. Amy's got some friends to help in the kitchen, and it's time to get cooking. And look at this. 4 months ago, Amy and Selena thought it was going to be as easy as pie to turn this empty space in a strip mall into a sexy resto lounge. They're flat broke and a month late, but their skateboard chic floors and red couches look like $1 million. And finally, there's a place to go on a date in town. In fact, all their friends from Whistler chartered a bus to be there tonight. Selena starts the guest off with Amy's soon-to-be famous pecan-crusted cheese balls.
Crostini's perfect. It's awesome.
Salmon brochettes are wrapped in prosciutto and served with a lemon caper aioli. There's postmodern 3-bean salad with balsamic and basil vinaigrette.
Great mix of flavors.
Right.
Almost everything is perfect. Almost.
Okay, you first. Are you guys okay? Is it too tight in here? No, it's fine.
Amy's bean dip reemerges with cumin and olives. The runaway hit, the hoisin and honey glazed chicken drumettes.
The food is great.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. Done. Well done, Jill.
Very proud of you.
I'm proud of you, too.
It's a long way from chicken balls with red sauce, and everyone is grateful.
Finally, we have a spot in Squamish that's cool and sexy and has a little flavor, you know?
Squamish really needs a Burrow. Definitely.
How was Mount St. Helens sound this
Nah,
weekend?
really?
Oh, yeah.
Going on a motorcycle trip.
Nice.
Restaurant's finished. Going
Nice.
for a ride, Mount St. Helens.
Yeah, we've been secretly arranging this for you since you couldn't go to the other trip, but
Right.
Find more at fineliving.com. Real information for real people.